In reality, product design these days is rarely accomplished with a single design tool. It's not uncommon for vendors, customers, and even other internal team members to use different CAD tools. When it comes to converging these various CAD sources into one common data thread, there's no better tool than Fusion 360's AnyCAD. In this example, a contractor used SOLIDWORKS to design a bracket to mount our motor for our router design. From a traditional desktop CAD tool, they were able to connect to the cloud using Autodesk Drive, which is a local folder that uploads data straight into Fusion 360. From Windows Explorer, you can navigate the project and folder structure created in Fusion 360. Once the data is saved to the cloud, team members can view, collaborate, and manage data from a web browser or mobile device anywhere in the world. Once in Fusion 360, we can insert that native SOLIDWORKS file into our Fusion 360 design. Now we can assemble the design from our contractor into our assembly to ensure the form, fit, and function works with our CAD data. But integrating that design into my assembly is just the beginning. Now that we know how the bracket is mounted, we can add other features to this native SOLIDWORKS data, which will update parametrically in time with any design changes from SOLIDWORKS. But Fusion 360 is not just a CAD tool. It's not just rendering, simulation, or CAM. It's all of those things. Now let's take that SOLIDWORKS design and use Nastran's industry standard FEA solvers to simulate the design for numerous engineering scenarios. Since Fusion 360 is connected to the cloud, we can cloud solve all these studies in parallel, which offloads this computational intensive process from my local machine so I can continue to work on other tasks. Fusion 360 lowers the cost of entry to using tools that typically have high license and maintenance costs. Another example of this is producing the CAM toolpaths to actually get this manufactured. Well, don't worry, that is also included in Fusion 360. From 2.5 to 5 axis milling, turning, water jet, plasma, and even additive manufacturing. Use Fusion 360 to turn your design from pixels on the screen to a physical product. But now the inevitable has occurred. The customer has requested a design change to use a larger motor to meet a higher feed rate for our router design. The change was communicated with a red line, which will travel with the file and produce an auditable trail of why and when this design change occurred. The request from the customer requires us to make changes to the original SOLIDWORKS bracket to ensure the motor can fit. Typically, this would require hours of rework to downstream processes. But with Fusion 360's AnyCAD, we get a notification that the component is out of date. We can get the latest change made from SOLIDWORKS. The downstream features will update parametrically in time. Not only will the part update, but the changes will propagate to the assembly to ensure we can integrate the larger motor. Also, the simulation setup will be retained so we can simply rerun all the studies on the cloud to ensure the new design changes meet our design requirements. Finally, the CAM toolpaths are regenerated with a click of a button to account for the changes in the geometry. Fusion 360's AnyCAD allows engineering teams to work with anyone, anywhere, regardless of which CAD system they use. Oh, and all of this is included with your subscription of Fusion 360.